Why food security is a must for Africa if we truly want to be free. 5 powerful reasons. They say a hungry man is an angry man, but what they don't say enough is that a hungry nation can never truly be free. Today we talk about something deeper than economics. We talk about food security, not as a policy, but as the lifeline of Africa's independence. Because if we truly want to be free, food security isn't optional, it's a must. Here are 5 powerful reasons why. Reason 1. Hunger keeps us dependent. Imagine this. Africa, a continent with 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land, still spends over $50 billion a year importing food. We import what we could grow ourselves: rice, wheat, sugar, and even processed cassava products. But why? Because when we depend on others to feed us, they control us. Food aid is rarely free. It shapes trade deals, political alliances, and sometimes even who stays in power. Dependency keeps us weak, and weakness is the enemy of freedom. Reason 2. Food is power, and whoever controls it rules. Look at history. Empires rose and fell on food systems. During colonialism, African farmers were forced to grow cash crops like cocoa and cotton instead of food to feed their own families. This wasn't an accident. It was by design, to make us reliant on European imports for survival. Even today, African countries often accept subsidized imports from wealthy nations, destroying local agriculture and forcing farmers out of business. Food isn't just food, it's power. And until we reclaim that power, true independence remains an illusion. Reason 3. Economic freedom begins on the farm. Agriculture employs over 60% of Africa's workforce. Imagine if we stopped spending billions on imports and invested that money in local farms, storage, processing, and technology. That money would stay here, creating jobs, building infrastructure, and lifting millions from poverty. When farmers thrive, rural communities prosper. When rural communities prosper, nations prosper. Food security isn't charity. It's smart economics. Reason 4. Food security means stability and peace. Behind many conflicts in Africa, from the Sahel to the Horn of Africa, lies food insecurity. Scarce resources fuel competition, migration, and sometimes violence. A country that can't feed its people is always vulnerable to unrest, to extremism, and to manipulation by external powers. But a country that can feed itself builds stability, and stability builds peace. Reason 5. It's about dignity and identity. What does it say about us if we can't feed our own children? For centuries, Africans fed themselves with indigenous knowledge, drought-resistant grains, mixed farming, and sustainable practices passed from generation to generation. Today, some of that knowledge is being lost, replaced by cheap imports and food aid. But food is part of who we are. It's culture, tradition, and pride. To regain our dignity, we must return to feeding ourselves. Africa doesn't lack fertile land. We don't lack hardworking farmers. We don't lack creativity or resilience. What we lack is the political will and united vision to prioritize food security as the foundation of our freedom. So here's the question for you. Are we ready to stop being mere consumers and start being producers? To move from dependence to self-reliance? To see food not just as a commodity, but as our birthright and power? If this message speaks to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video. Let your friends, family, and community understand why food security matters. Support local farmers. Buy local produce whenever you can. Challenge your leaders. Ask them what concrete steps they're taking to make your country food secure. Africa's freedom doesn't start in the palace. It starts on the farm. Because a nation that can't feed itself can never call itself free. AfriFacts, telling Africa's true story.